Can any human being alive right now compete with this current version of Ilia Topuria, guys? We're going to have to get to the bottom of that in this video. Now, this isn't the same Ilia we've seen at 145, which is kind of unsettling in a way because I really don't think Ilia at 145 was his best. I actually think the weight cut was like depleting him a little bit, and it wasn't allowing him to perform at his best because the way he performed at 155 was night and day. He's still doing what he always does at 145. Don't get it twisted. But the way he looks, the comfortability, everything just looks significantly better than at 155, which is kind of scary for me. As like, I'm a huge Islam guy, guys. You guys know this. You guys know my favorites. You know, I like the Islams, I like the Armans. But someone like this arrives, and it really is. It's an eye-opening experience. It's an eye-opening experience, guys. I kid you not, man. Like, I was up, like, I wasn't up late because I was already up late watching this shit. I went to sleep. I woke up. The first thing in my mind was Ilia, the way he slumped Charles Oliveira. I'm not even trying to kid you guys. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Now, that being said, what we're going to do in this video, we're going to look at Ilia Topuria. And first, before I even talk about the matchups, let's address the improvement at 155. So these are the things that I've noticed. First of all, he's faster and stronger at 155. Like I said, I think at 145 he was 80% of Ilia. That wasn't a 100% version of Ilia we're getting because, like, physically he didn't feel at his best. So he might have still went up there and knocked out the Volks and knocked out the Maxes, but I don't think he was doing that at 100%. He's faster and stronger. I really emphasize faster because I'm confused on how he's throwing faster punches in the pocket than he was in 145. Like, the speed and the hand speed advantage. I guess you could say lighter man skill, but it's not only that because he actually looks faster. Like, the way he was in the pocket against Charles, every time Charles would even think about throwing, he would already have the chill. Look at the knockout blow again. Before Charles even finished the thought about him throwing, he already ate a two-piece hook. Like the two-piece hook. And I was saying before that, guys, you know, this guy, Charles can't avoid hooks, and Ilia has the best hooks in the UFC. But the speed of the hook surprised me. Charles was about to throw a punch and boom, boom. He gets hit with two hooks and he's already out cold. That's scary that he's faster at 155. I would understand stronger, more powerful, but the speed that he gained is a little bit unsettling for me. I mean, his open workout, I saw him working out with wrist weights while he was punching those, like, the mitts and stuff, and he was so fast. And I'm like, he's doing this with wrist weights. Imagine him without the wrist weights. I got my answer last night with that hand speed against Charles Oliveira. Now, I said his grappling looks better, guys, like, which is kind of expected. I think this comes with him maybe being stronger, but the way he was countering, like, he took down Charles, and Charles tried to initiate the grappling, put Ilia on the ground. Ilia reversed it, ends up putting Charles on his back, and then he was moving through positions with Charles on his back. When he got taken down kind of by Bryce Mitchell and kind of stood there, it was showing me, like, kind of inexperience or whatever. But the way he looked in the grappling now, like, moving through positions against someone like Charles, like, you know, I never really see that often with Charles. Like, Arman was kind of doing it because Arman's, like, physically strong, but I'm used to Arman being a high-level grappler, you know, high-level wrestler. I'm not used to someone like Ilia who prioritizes his striking looking that good. I know he has a Greco-Roman background, but it's always been. I hate when people say that. Yeah, Greco-Roman background, so he's the best. Shut up, dude. Because I don't like when people say, like, someone's background but they don't perform. Yeah, Ilia, what's it called? Ikram Al-Skurov, guys, Sambo background, best grappler in the UFC. He doesn't use it, so I don't care about their background until you use it. He's starting to use his background defensively and offensively against Charles Oliveira, who's one of the best grapplers. And Charles wasn't rocked or anything. It was just Charles getting kind of mowed through with Ilia on the ground. Like, it was so surprising. I said he's thicker too, so he won't be easy to bully. I remember initially when I first saw him going up to 155, I was thinking, like, people like Charles can, like, maybe bully him in the clinch, you know, maybe Arman will maul him easily on the ground, maybe Islam will maul him easily on, you know what I'm saying? But now seeing how thick he looked and how big he looked girthy. Pause. Hey, yo, he looked girthy. I need to stop saying girthy. He looked bigger. He looked thicker. He looked stronger at 155. It was very noticeable on my screen. But even when him and Charles would collide, like, Charles is strong in the clinch. Look at Charles holding Islam against the fence in the clinch. Look at Charles, like, grappling with Arman. Charles is strong because he has a big stature and he uses his size well. But Ilia was, like, reversing him in the clinch and reversing positions. Ilia looks stronger than Charles, which is very alarming. So this is the new version of Topuria. Just know he's faster, stronger, you know, maybe a little bit better looking, maybe better haircut, you know. He looked a little bit different. You know, this guy is a way better version. Now let's talk about how he'll do against some of these matchups. Starting off with Paddy Pimblett, who the UFC is clearly trying to push for some whatever reason. Literally impossible for Paddy to win, guys. When I say this, I mean it's not even like I don't like 0 out of 0%. Kenny, it's a UFC fight. No one has 0% chance. He has a 0% chance. Like, Topuria's quick, powerful boxing against Paddy's exposed chin. Like, Paddy's known for having the worst chin. Like, not the worst chin. He has a great chin. He's known for having, like, the most hittable chin ever. Jerry Gordon licking him up, you know. Michael Chandler even landed some good shots. But Paddy was eating them. I'll give him credit. But Ilia does not hit the same as these guys. He's accurate. He's powerful, and he's quick. All those like, when those combine into one, you're getting slept. It's not going to be like a Charles Oliveira getting rocked by Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje's hit like trucks. I'm not saying like Dustin and Justin don't hit hard. I'm not saying that. They do hit hard, but they're more like volume power. You know, over when they hit you with a lot of those volume power punches, you start to wilt. Ilia's like, I'll touch you and then it's kind of over. I think it's because it's a mix of precision, power, and speed. When you like quick punches already like have good impact. Like Joshua Van doesn't hit hard, but he's quick. So like he will rock someone like Royval or stun him a little bit when he lands on him. That's quick. Then there's people who are powerful, like Derek Lewis. They're not throwing really quick or anything, but when they hit you, it hurts because the size of the punch. And then there's people who's precise, like Israel Adesanya. See what he does to Apollo Costa when he connects, or Robert Whitaker when they connect, or Alex Pereira. It's more precision than anything. But when you have someone who's quick, powerful, and precise, you get the Ilia Topuria, which is why it's really rare to see someone like this. But when he lands these shots on you, you're going to sleep. Paddy has the best chin ever. He can't get knocked out. I think I heard this before. Max Holloway, Kenny. Why you predicting Ilia by knockout, Kenny? Max would never get knocked out. I told you guys it was going to happen, and it happened. I'm telling you guys right now, Scousers don't get knocked out. It's going to be the cleanest edit on TikTok when they play that background and watch Ilia brutally sleeping. This matchup actually makes no sense, you know, I'll be real. But if they want to give it to Ilia, I don't mind giving Ilia another like highlight, but he's just not going to get praised for the win, in my opinion. But it's a really easy fight. And then I said Topuria's a better grappler, too. Yeah, I don't care. Dude, but Kenny, Paddy's the best. He submitted Bobby Green, dude. Shut up. Like, I don't care about none of that. Yeah, I'll be real. Ilia's grappling is better from what I saw. Paddy's a little bit overrated in his grappling. I haven't seen him, like, even move on the ground with someone as good as Charles the way Ilia did. So I'm going to give Ilia even the edge in grappling. Ilia's just better everywhere. The footage is likely going to be deleted. It's going to be a round 1 KO. Like, they're not going to leave that footage up, or it's going to be, you know, maybe used in a true crime story a little bit, you know. They can't leave footage like that up. I actually heard they actually deleted the Ilia versus Charles footage. Like, the UFC channel posted it, but they took it away because too gruesome or something. Like, people get traumatized. I don't know what happened, but yeah, sometimes footage can't be out there for the public. This is one of those fights. Do not let Paddy step in there for Ilia, or it's going to be a really bad night for him. I'm telling you right now. Moving on from Paddy, because we know he gets the beats on him, Dr. Dre, hands on him, lots of bass. When I say lots of bass, I mean lots of bass. Let's talk about this guy, Justin Gaethje. Yeah, if I don't get the title shot, I'm retiring. Bro, you should just want to retire after what you just seen him do to Charles, who owns you. No offense. But yeah, literally impossible for Justin to win as well. Justin already struggles with boxers. Look at him against Max. Look at him against Dustin. Even Dustin, the second fight, was doing really good work until Justin Gaethje lands a head kick. Like, Gaethje just gets slept worse than the Max fight. Like, it's just like Max is known for having like a lack of defense, but overwhelming offense. Not really powerful, but overwhelming offense, like overwhelming volume. You know, Ilia is known for being way more defensively sound than a Max Holloway. First of all, Max Holloway was doing a good job not even getting hit clean by Gaethje. Let's start there. And now you're going against Ilia, who moves better, is really good in the pocket, way quicker than you in the pocket. And then Gaethje always loads up into his punches. Like, he'll literally do why-I-oughta, boom, before he throws a fucking uppercut. Like, what are you doing loading up like this? Anyone can see that coming. By the time you're doing boom, you get hit with a double hook like fucking Charles, then you get slept. Like, they're going to delete this footage too. It's going to be round 1 KO. Very easy. Him, like, I swear to you guys, I'm not even trying to glaze. He will beat Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett in 1 day. Give him maybe 1 hour rest between, brother. I think he smashed. 2-minute rest. Because, like, bro, I think he finishes both of them in 1 round. Like, I swear to God, like, round 1 should start. He should knock out, what's his name, Paddy. And then round 2 starts to bring up a new fighter to knock out Justin. You know, he could probably do that with 1 extra person. You know who we should throw someone else in there? It should be this guy. Max Holloway. I'm sorry. I love Max. Max is a good guy. But we've seen it already, guys, and I think it would actually be worse at 155. I saw in the press conference when they brought up Max, like, Ilia was like, no, we don't want to do that to Max again. Or no, it was Volk they said that about, which I agree. Volk, he shouldn't fight Volk at one. Like, if Volk wants to come double champ and go up to 155 at like his older age now, like, I think people think that Ilia like just beat Volk because Volk was coming off the knockout with Islam. Trust me, if Ilia lands the same shot he landed on Volk in the first fight, it'd be over. And Volk had the smartest approach. Like, you know, Volk and Max, they lasted longer than Charles because Charles just kept trotting forward and didn't change his fight style. Even Max is known for coming forward with a same amount of volume. He was so much more circle heavy. Even Ilia gave him the option, come in the center of the ring, be Max Holloway. He didn't want to do that. Max Holloway was smart for changing up his approach because he lasted longer. Volk was smart for low kicking and low kicking and circling because he lasts longer. Charles literally thought like I could go in there with fighting like me and I could win, but the problem is that was never going to happen. If you're going to fight Ilia, maybe don't walk on the front foot, which is another reason Paddy's just going to get fucking melted. Paddy thinks for any way, shape, or form he can walk forward, but that's Paddy's best option. Like, what's he going to do, run away the whole time? Like, low kick and circle like Volk? Not going to work because he doesn't move as well as Volk, but yeah, these guys just all screwed, aren't they? Fuck. So yeah, Max Holloway, no offense, you'll be worse to a point where I actually wouldn't advocate for it as a Max fan because I just don't want to see him get brutally stepped like worse this time. I'm good off that. It's probably gonna like end in the first round. So yeah, a lot of these, all three of the people I went through, guys, all first round. But let's get a little bit more difficult. Arman Tsarukyan, this is the hardest fight for him at lightweight, yes, including Islam Makhachev. He's going to be the best wrestler that Ilia's faced. And of course, Ilia will have the boxing advantage, but I do think it's a 50-50 fight. I can see Topuria by KO. I can see Arman by points. The big thing about this is, yes, I'm seeing Ilia evolve in his grappling, looking good against Charles, but Arman also looked really good against Charles in the grappling. He was going through guards. He was ground and pounding him. Arman was actually more willing than Ilia, unironically, to stay on the ground with Charles. I'm not saying Ilia was running from Charles on the ground. He was moving through guards, like putting him in crucifixes, landing shots on him. I think he was even thinking about submitting him at a point, but he gets up. He wants to get the first round knockout, so he gets up and he lets Charles up. Arman was so comfortable with Charles on the ground. It was almost weird. Like, Charles was throwing up anything, but Arman was just getting out through that, transitioning through guards, landing ground and pound, kind of just bullying him in the grappling. That being said, he still had a competitive fight, but of course it's because styles make fights, and Arman's not per se bad on the feet. He was actually destroying Charles on the feet as well. But he's a little bit kick heavy. He has good low kicks, which I think will be good. He has good push kicks, spinning kicks, and I think that's good against Ilia. Don't make it traditional against Ilia and stay in front of him, just kind of low kick and try to 1-2. Because Ilia showed me in the Charles fight, he counters low kicks really well with jabs. He had the low kick read. He was like, I'm not going to get out or slide out the way of the low kick. What I'm going to try to do is when he throws it, I'm going to jab, and it was landing to a point where he cut Charles early, I believe, from just tanking a low kick and going with a straight jab. That's great game planning. I ain't going to lie. Even someone like Paddy, who loves throwing low kicks, he's just going to get his face jabbed off before he gets knocked out. But yeah, Ilia's good with low kicks now. It looks like he's evolving in that aspect, because in the Volkanovski fight, he kind of just took the low kicks and that was it. But he looks like he's getting better in that. But I feel like Arman's good with weird kicks. I'm talking head kicks, really quick head kicks, spinning kicks. That's going to be different. And I feel like Arman's really good at wrestling and forcing wrestling. And even if Ilia can stuff the takedowns, I don't think Charles is as strong physically as Arman Tsarukyan. Arman and Ilia are both 5'7". They both have similar thickness, but I do think Arman's the better physique and the stronger guy physically. So I do think when they get tangled up, I feel as if some of these Greco-Roman counter wrestling attempts that Ilia was able to score on a Charles Oliveira, it won't go as easy as against an Arman Tsarukyan, because he's very physically strong and fit. So I could see this being a very interesting matchup, but I still think it's 50-50, guys. And that being said, I think this is the hardest fight for him, and it's still 50-50. There's still a world Ilia could chin Arman. If I had to lean somewhere in the 50-50, I actually might lean Arman Tsarukyan still, because I do have faith in how much his striking has improved and his offensive wrestling and his strength behind it, But if Ilia stuffs these guys' takedowns, if Ilia goes against Arman and just shows he's better, I'd be I'd actually be fuck. Dude, if he does that, I don't know what to say, guys. I think Ilia might be literally unbeatable. But yeah, I like I said, I'm probably going to lean Arman in this matchup, but it's very close, and it's going to be very interesting to see the grappling exchanges between these two, because I do think Arman Tsarukyan is a better offensive wrestler. Charles is not really known for scoring crazy offensive takedowns unless it's Michael Chandler, So yes, Ilia did reverse him and was looking better than him there, but that's not Arman Tsarukyan, So we have to see how he does against Arman Tsarukyan. But overall, my take, if I had to lean someone, is Arman, but I still know it's a 50-50 fight deep down. So Shibai, brother, Shibai. All right, moving on from Arman Tsarukyan, we're going to the man that everyone wants to hear about, Islam Makhachev. High level fight. You already see the bottom. I said 55-45, and I'm leaning Topuria. I can see Topuria knocking him out. I can see Islam submitting him. I can see Islam by points too. it's a high level fight, guys, but it's just the Islam's defensive striking habits is problematic. So you guys notice how I say Arman's just a little bit easier of a fight stylistically for Arman to beat Ilia than Islam. I'm not saying Arman's better than Islam, because I think Islam beats Arman, because styles make fights, but I feel like people need to understand what I mean when I say that. If you guys notice Islam's defensive striking habits, he kind of always leans back when you throw like a one punch combo or like a 1-2. He leans back and tries to counter with a hook every time. But when people make a read on it, like Dustin Poirier made a read on it one time where Islam would kind of just lean back and throw his little hook. And then, like, instead of just throwing one punch, I think Dustin did a 1-1-2, and it kind of landed flush on Islam Makhachev. Because if you find the timing of it, Islam, stuff like that happens. Also, look back at the Volk fight, chat, because Islam was doing it in Volk 1 as well. Like, he would do it where he leans back, and then Volk would do something where he kind of like puts a high guard up, keeps throwing, and continues to follow his combos and complete it. And he was landing on Islam, and that's when Islam would like lean back or fall back when like Volk would hit him in like the chin or chest area, you know. So that habit has not changed from Islam at all. Against Moicano, he was doing it too, like kind of reactive. A little bit less than Moicano, because he was trying to, I think, go on the front foot on Moicano. But every time Islam engages forward, he looks so, like, I don't want to say, he looks a little bit like, I guess, confused or like lost when he's the one coming forward. It's almost like his footing's a little bit off. And I feel like if you're a good counter striker, you could capitalize on that really well. You know, Moicano never capitalized on it. People think Moicano dropped him. He tried to counter him when Islam was coming forward, but it was just Islam losing his footing. But someone who's a more accurate counter puncher like Ilia, if Islam does that, it could be very problematic. Like, Islam striking is, I'm not going to say it's green. Islam can outstrike a certain style of fighters, but people who chain together combos, like, that's where it can become problematic for Islam. But Islam's so good at other departments. I said he's more well-rounded than Ilia, and the grappling advantage is huge, because not just grappling, clinch, just like Charles, but he's way better than the clinch, you know. Wrestling off the fence, wrestling in the middle of the cage. He can make Ilia work a little bit more, you know, but I just feel as if the defensive striking habit is just very concerning for me specifically, because against Ilia, like, I feel like having like defensive deficiencies against him, like, it usually leads to Ilia picking up reads quickly on those. You know, Dustin Poirier picked up those reads like 3 rounds in. Volkanovski picked it up like a round in, you know. And Ilia is just as good as a striker as far as IQ is concerned as a Volk, maybe even better. So he would pick up on that habit, and I'm pretty sure he already knows about the habit of Islam. But it's like, it's gonna really come down to how Islam can actually go in there and impose his grappling. And I think Islam can impose his grappling and will. The only reason I'm going 55-45 to Poirier is because, you know, I know Islam is a better grappler, but there's a world at 155 where I do feel as if Ilia being stronger is going to make him almost density max, kind of similar to the Volkanovski-Islam 1 fight, where it's almost like if, like, Islam couldn't take down Volk in that fight. If Islam is having some similar mistakes with Ilia, it could be a little bit more problematic than a Volkanovski, just because I feel like Ilia packs more of a punch, and he's a little bit better with his combos, and he's just a better striker overall than a Volkanovski. So that's only if Ilia could do that and be as good as defensively as Volk was. And I do think he is. And I do think he will probably, especially at 155, because he looks like he's actually better at 155. So, like I said, time will tell with these two if they ever fight. Yes, I do think, like, right now, Ilia has the advantage. But after I watch JDM Islam, my opinion can change like that. If he goes in there and, like his wrestling works well against a bigger, stronger JDM, I would definitely be a little bit more confident in Islam Makhachev. My thing is, like, if Islam goes back down to 155 with that, like, would he not like that weight cut? You know, I know Ilia wants to become triple champ. So what's that going to look like? Maybe Ilia goes up to 170. I would like that matchup for Islam. I'll say this: it's like 55-45 at 155. At 170, I'll say 55-45 Islam. How about that? That's what I'll say, you know. Maybe not 50. I think 60-40 Islam at 170, 55-45 to Poirier at 155. That's my take, you know, overall. But it'll be interesting to see if they ever fight and what weight class they'll choose to fight. But if it is at 170, I am going to lean Islam, because I feel like he could use his size a little bit better there. In contrast, if it's at 155 and Islam ends up going back down in weight, I could see him maybe struggling. And if he does get chin, I'm not going to blame the weight cut. I'll just say it's probably going to be his defensive striking habit. But we'll have to see how this fight goes. But, like, right now, after that performance, I have a hard time seeing Islam like destroy him or maul him. Like, you know, a little bit harder. Not saying it's not going to happen, but it's just a little bit harder for me. All right, that being said, I'm not even done. We're going to talk about one more gem, because Topuria was talking about in the press conference. He's going to be triple champ 170. How would Islam versus JDM go at 170? I actually think it's 80-20 Ilia Topuria. I just said Islam JDM. I meant Ilia JDM. I think it's 80-20 Topuria, and I think Topuria can knock him out. Topuria is a superior boxer. I do think he has a grappling edge, and I think JDM's combos are too wide. Like, they both have good combos, good chain combos, but JDM almost throws it from the waist, like boom, 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 boom. He might do body, body, finish 2 in the head, but it's so wide, and it's not that Topuria doesn't throw hooks too. It's just that Topuria throws tight hooks, whereas JDM throws wide hooks. The tight hooks always land on the target first, and like Topuria's speed advantage that he will have via Ladderman skill is going to be significant in this fight, to the point where I see that if JDM tries to chain his combos in, by the time he's trying to go body, body, boom, boom, you got hit with 2 fucking hooks to the face and you're already out. You know, so Ilia can chin JDM. Don't think this just power is just like a 155, 145 thing, because I think his power at 155 being way better than 145 is important. I think him being faster as he went up weight is important, to the point where I think at 170 he might not be as fast as he was at 155, but the power might even improve even more, to a point where I could see him actually chinning him. I think Ilia Topuria has an easier time beating JDM than even Islam on paper via stylistic matchup, because if JDM is getting outstruck and tries to grapple with Ilia, he's just so green there in the offensive grappling. I just don't see him succeeding against Ilia Topuria. So I do think Ilia Topuria triple champ is not out of the ordinary. Like, it's not abnormal. You might think it is, but it's really not as crazy as you might think. Ilia Topuria is a generational talent. I view Ilia the same way I view Khamzat Chimaev. Like, I feel like they're both really good at their department of fighting, to a point where it's almost generational. Like, we haven't seen this talent in a long time. You know, you have like the Islam Makhachevs, you know, who are like good at everything. Then you have the specialists, who I really see are generational, like the Khamzats and the Ilias. You know, these guys are special. Ilia Topuria is one of them, and he could definitely become triple champ. I believe Ilia is that good. I believe he's that good of a talent. I believe he could go in there against JDM and beat him up. Ilia always talks about he goes against 170ers, he just be cooking them in training, you know. And I just don't see JDM being absurdly great at anything, to a point where he's gonna give someone like Ilia Topuria a lot of problems. So I think Ilia Topuria beats JDM easier than he beats a lot of people, maybe even at 155. So that being said, Ilia Topuria, triple champ, brother, it could come true. But let me know what you guys think about these matchups. Let me know if you think I'm glazing. I don't think I'm glazing. I know people are going to say you're just glazing. I'm just very honest, bro. And you guys got to know, like, some of these fighters I'm even talking about in this video, I like them a lot more than Ilia. They're my favorite fighters. But I'm a transparent, honest person. And this is how I think the matchups go. But let me know what you guys think down below. That's it for me. And God bless. 2, 3.